Gardenwise Adventures. Today I would like to show you how to get the earliest spring harvest you can without doing much work. And that is planting seeds over the winter. Now, I started out doing this by just letting plants go to seed. I didn't intend for a spring harvest for it. They just, I got lazy and left them and they went to seed. The ones that came back the next spring were the lettuce. I've had spinach come back every once in a while. Arugula comes back if you let it fully go to seed and dry out. Parsley, dill is one of the most heavy producers that I have. Calendulas will come back like that. Those are some of the ones that I have seen that have come back that are really hardy over the winter. The seeds do not sprout in the winter. They will sprout in the spring. Now, what do you have to do to get them to sprout in the spring? Well, plant them in the winter. Hope that the quail don't come dust bathe in that area. Hope that the birds don't eat the seeds. And hope that you have a wet spring. If all of those conditions come together, these plants will come up if you sow them in the winter. Now, it is hit and miss, and it isn't, the way I plant them is not for people who like really beautiful gardens. I just like to do things in a simple, easy way where I don't have to think about it again later. I just have too much else going on. But I love harvesting greens in the spring. Now this year, I am going to try a few new ones. So the one that is not new, the one that I've done in the past, is Arugula. Now I usually let mine go to seed, but I didn't really let mine seed that much this year, so I would like to try it again. Parsley. I'm going to throw a few parsley seeds out because they're, parsley is biennial. That means that it will grow your beautiful parsley the first year. The second year it will flower and then go to seed, and then the third year it's gone. So I did not have any of my parsley have flowers last year. So I would like to throw down some seeds so that I can get some more this year. There's all sorts of lettuces that I like. I like a ton of mixes of lettuce. Now all the lettuce that I let go to seed last year will come back, but I also like to throw down a packet here and there just to make sure that I get lettuce. Ones that I'm going to try that are new this year is kale and Swiss chard. I've never grown kale before, but it's a cool weather crop, and I'm thinking that it just might sprout next spring. So let's plant it this year and see what happens. And I'll do a video next year, in the spring, just to see if this works. So the way that I plant these seeds can be a little unconventional. I like a messy garden. I like a garden where things just pop up wherever they can come up. So come with me and I'll show you what I do with each one of these seed packets. So here we are under my peach trees. This is one area where I like things to grow with wild abandon. There's a lot of perennial herbs that come up through here. I have some lamium. You can see the lamium right here. In the same area there's oregano. You can see one of last year's parsley right here. I've got some lemon balm. I put garlic under my peach trees, mostly because I like it there, and it does seem to help with borer control. It's not proven to help with borer control, but I haven't had a lot of problems with borers since I put it under there. So I do have garlic under here. This is the leftovers of a little kale plant that I didn't plant. It must have been in a seed packet that it did come up here. One thing that I really like to come up in this area is lettuce. So I'm going to take one of my seed packets. I still am not done with my compost. This is how much my compost has shrunk down since last week, just because of the rain. So I'm going to be finishing my compost today and my leaf cleanup. Before I finish my compost, I'm going to throw down a full packet of mixed lettuce right through this area. This is the area that gets watered by the sprinkler that's up there, and it has really rich soil because of all the compost that goes in and out of here. I'm not even going to be careful how I do it. I've got a full packet of seed in my hand, and I'm just going to toss it through this area, and as I do my compost, it's going to get put into the ground, and maybe a third of it will come up, maybe a quarter, I don't know. But whatever comes up will be lettuce for next year. There. That is lettuce for next year. Now I've already gone through and prepared this bed. This is the bed that I've decided will house all my spring greens. And it'll be my trial bed for the Swiss chard and the kale. So we're going to plant some lettuce, some Swiss chard, some kale, and see what happens. Now I don't plant most of my greens in rows. I plant in blocks. So I'm going to show you how I do that the quick and easy way. So this area right here is going to be the first area that I'm going to plant lettuce. So I have a packet of lettuce that some of them come from one packet, there's more from another packet. It's just basically a packet of mixed lettuce. First thing that I'm going to do is just kind of clear out a little bit of an area. Get some lettuce seeds. Sprinkle them randomly throughout this area and then just lightly cover them up. And then lightly cover them up with the compost that I have here. Okay, now the next one that I'm going to plant is kale. I have never planted kale before. We're going to see if it comes up in the spring. But I'm going to try a mixture of the curly and the dinosaur kale because I've heard those are really good. I'm not going to try them in a block like I did the lettuce. I'm going to make some rows of it so that I can know which one is which. So I don't use any specific tools. I just use my hand, draw a line to the depth that I want it. This is going to be the dinosaur kale. And then we're going to sprinkle the seeds evenly down that row. Let's actually try 2 rows of it. And then I just cover up the row, pat it down. And see what happens next spring. Now I'm going to try a row of a couple of rows of Swiss chard. I also scattered the arugula kind of all over the place, and I scattered the parsley up under my peach trees and along this side under the grapevines. That's kind of where I like to harvest it and where I have it. So try that this year. If your ground isn't frozen yet, go out, find a little area to put some lettuce, some parsley, whatever you would like that's a cool weather crop. Sprinkle it on the ground. Don't expect to see it this winter, but look for it next spring. Now, if next spring is a really dry spring, you're going to need to water it a little bit to get it to grow. I don't come out necessarily and water. I just wait to see what happens. This is just a very quick way for me to see if I can get early crops. Sometimes I see them in February, sometimes I see them in March, sometimes in April, and sometimes they don't come at all, just depending on the weather and the moisture of the spring. But if you want to guarantee the crop, if you want to guarantee some of a crop, you can go out and water it in the early spring. So if you've enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.